Indiana Podcast Network. This is the Lifestyle Live Podcast.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
I'm here with Lindsay Durham, who is the outpatient clinical dietitian at Eskenazi Health. Welcome back to the show. You've been here before. Yeah. So we are talking right now is a very special time for many people spiritually. We're in the season of Lent. We're also still in Ramadan, and people are fasting. Mm-hmm. But there's a way to do that and make sure that our body gets the things that we need while we are taking care of our spiritual needs. So let's talk about that for just a little bit.
Yeah, so I think with fasting, the important thing, number one, is just to make sure that you talk with your primary care provider just to make sure that it is going to be safe. And there is, I would say, like a limit to how many hours you want to fast. I normally don't suggest more than 16. There's usually not going to be kind of much benefit after that. And you just kind of want to make sure that whenever you are breaking that fast, you have a good, healthy, balanced meal. Some protein, some fiber.
So like don't break your fast with like a big
don't
Mac
go to
big,
don't go with the McDonald's drive-thru. Get that McGriddle. No.
And then another key aspect you have here is about like hydration and how we're hydrating during the times that we're not fasting. That helps us to prepare for when we are fasting, or maybe abstaining from maybe food or
yeah,
like that.
Exactly. So whenever you're not having that food, you at least want to stay hydrated, drink water, black tea, coffee, those are going to be fine as well to have. And then you want to think about that meal that you're having before the fast, so maybe like the evening before, and make sure it's a good balanced meal as well to kind of set you up for success during that fasting.
So I'll be honest with you, girl. I'm putting my card down here. You're saying a balanced meal, right? But that doesn't mean what you use in your head. It doesn't mean that that's the same thing that people are understanding. Because if I think of a balanced meal, I grew up thinking it was a starch, a vegetable, and a protein, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Is that it?
Okay, that is,
right? Because things have changed, and food recommendations have changed over time too. Can you give me an example of a balanced meal?
Yeah.
Besides that,
I think those three food groups are kind of perfect. Always think about, if you think about your plate, divide it in half, fill up half of it with different vegetables, about a quarter of it with some protein, like some nice chicken, fish, pork, and then that last quarter with some sort of a starch, whether it's potato, rice, pasta. Kind of just have those three food groups at your meal.
And so is there anything that you should do if you know, like right now people are already kind of started their fast in the season of fasting. Is there anything that you should do maybe if you know, okay, for example, people who observe Ramadan right now, they don't eat at all during daylight hours. But maybe before the season starts, is there a way to prep your body to be prepared to fast?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could do almost like a modified fast to where you're not doing, the full day or anything like that, but you're at least having, I would say, a 12-hour fast in between kind of your last meal of the day and that first meal of the next day. And that will kind of start to get your body into that routine. It takes a couple weeks to adjust to the fasting. So if you start to kind of slowly work towards that, I think it can be more successful and a little bit easier.
And outside of just the season that we're in right now, some folks do intermittent fasting for health reasons or, to have a weight loss goal that they might have. So can you give us any tips for people who want to maybe attempt intermittent fasting? Because it's never worked for me, girl, because I'm like, you know what, I'm hungry now, so I got to go get something to eat.
I'm with you, yeah. And so for that same thing, I would start with like the 12-hour fast and then kind of work your way up hour by hour, whether it's delaying that first meal by an hour or kind of moving up that eating window in the evening to an hour until you get to that 16-hour.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So you're basically like timing this out. It's about structure and a schedule. So it's not impossible to make intermittent fasting work or make it faster. You don't have to your body doesn't have to suffer or get bad outcomes because of the fasting.
And if you are suffering, if you feel like you're super hungry, you're tired, headaches, nausea, then fasting just might not work for you because nutrition's not one size fits all. So it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So you have to kind of experiment, see what works.
See what works for you. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for being here. We're going to have all those tips over on our website, lifestylelive.tv.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at lifestylelive.tv.
Faces you know and a team you can trust.